I'm gonna make you the host, Bob.
Thank you. I'm the host again. Oh, and we have 2 people in the waiting room. And this person, I don't know who D is. I'm going to admit you, but if you take and you start D with all the I's, if you start taking and I'm going to kick you out of the meeting.
Bob, Mary Ann, and Doug need to be unmuted as well for the next hearing.
Okay. I'm working on it.
Don't push it around, Bob.
Right, Bob, you're doing great. Doing great.
Mary Ann. I've asked Mary Ann to unmute. And,
Okay, Dan Proctor also,
and
Doug.
I'm looking for Dan.
I could see him.
Bob Pease,
I found him. Yes, Joe.
this is Pac. Can we have the hosting back for 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Maybe 5.
Why?
Okay,
Oh, please.
let me call up the plan for this thing, and then we'll and then I'll turn it over to you,
You also need to unmute Doug.
Doug.
Mr.
Yeah,
Chairman,
there,
Mr. Chairman,
Okay,
if,
I've asked Doug. I've asked you to unmute yourself.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
there.
Mr.
And now, let me call up. This is
this being recorded, Joe? Is this being transmitted?
No, we're having problems.
So now we've got a meeting where we're blocking people from attending, Bob, because it's not going out to the public and it's closed. So we might have a technical issue with that.
no.
It's
Open
not
meeting?
closed. It's on the
No.
agenda, so people can come and join the meeting at any time.
They can still get in to the, it's
Yeah.
not, okay, never mind. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Let's see. We're going looking for 33.
Oh, is it Boatwell?
Oh, well.
Oh, well, okay. So let's share the screen.
Oh, I see how to raise hand.
Share screen 33. All right. So now, Joe, I'm going to turn the meeting over to you.
I'll send it right back to you after,
Promises
for realsies.
for realsies. Oh, good. You're now the host, Joe.
Such power.
I'm not getting the host screen. Are you
I-
sure you made me the host?
I click make host.
It's not giving me the host screen.
Oh dear.
Um,
I click on your thing and I click or let's try and do it through the participant list. Oh, you know why? Because I got 2 monitors, and on the other monitor I had a little thing where it says, do I want to make Joe the host?
okay, thank you. I'll just be a moment.
Yeah. All right. Please tell us about this application.
Who wants to go first?
I'll speak about the septic system. So we have an existing septic tank and a leach pit. Leach pit is saturated, failed Title V inspection because of the saturation plus in the groundwater. So we've designed a new system, a 13.5 foot by 34 foot leach field. We'll have a septic tank pump chamber, pump up to the higher elevation, get it away from the wetlands, as far away as we can, but still keep it on the property. This property is serviced by town water. However, the 2 abutting properties are on wells. So because of that, the location of the system has to be where it's at to keep it on the property and stay away from the neighbor's 100-foot well radius.
Thank you, Dan. Mary Ann, you have anything to add?
The old system is between the 30 and 50, and that's being abandoned, crushed and removed. And you mentioned the wells. So the system is about as far from the intermittent stream channel as it can get.
Thank you. Doug, did you have anything you wanted to add here? Doug?
No, I'm good, unless there's any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from commissioners? Are there any questions or comments from the public? This is an NOI and they got a DEP number with no comments. I'm looking for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, roll call vote. Rich Birsch,
Aye.
Katie Childs,
Aye.
Carl Luck,
Abstain.
Jack Rabbit,
Aye.
Jeff Viviano,
Aye.
and I for myself. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All
Thank
right.
you.
The next hearing is the Conservation Commission will hold a public meeting on a request for determination for applicability by Linwood Johnson, care of Bob Proctor Excavation for work at 72 Maple Parkway, consisting of the repair of a septic system. And so, Joe, am I the host again?
Yes, no, I will do that right now. The problem cannot be fixed. It's not working. So, I'm going to make you host and, you're recording the meeting, correct?
I sure hope so.
Okay, then I'll grab the meeting tomorrow. You are now host.
Okay. I don't know if I'm recording the meeting or not. Let's take a look.
It looks like it is
That's
recording.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah.
I was supposed to start recording and I don't remember start recording and I don't remember doing that.
I think Rich Birch started it for you.
Thank God for Richard Birch.
Actually, no, Bob, you must have started it right at the beginning when I said to start it.
Okay, good.
If it's working, you're doing the right thing.
Phew. All right, 72 Maple Parkway. Who's here for 72?
That would be me, Doug Smith, and Mary Ann.
All right. So first of all, let's get rid of this. Nope. And seven.
Who's me?
Parkway. Can people see Maple Parkway here now?
Yes.
I would state that I also went and looked at this on Saturday. It's in the backyard. It's totally flat. There's a intermittent stream that goes down the back of the property over here. This is all totally flat and lawn, and this is the existing house. And take it away, Mary Ann. And Doug?
Yeah, Doug did the delineation, but we have reason to believe that this would not be jurisdictional under the Wetlands Protection Act because it doesn't flow out of a wetland and it doesn't have a wetland around it. But it's there because it's important to set the leach field at least 50 feet back from an intermittent stream channel, whether it's jurisdictional under wetlands or not.
Thank you.
Yeah, and basically on this one, it failed the Title V. It's an existing home that needed a new septic. So we put the tank and pump chamber on the side, but could not fit the septic system on the side of the house between the setback for the house and the boundary. So sort of had to put the replacement system where I did. And like Mary Ann said, it is over 50 feet from that stream channel, and I think it's the best that I can possibly do on this lot to get compliance.
Any comments or questions from commissioners? Any comments or questions from members of the public? This is an RDA. I'm looking for a motion for a negative determination.
So moved.
So moved.
Next,
All right, motion made and seconded. Roll call vote. Rich
Bob,
Bird. Yes,
I'm
sir.
sorry. This just caught my eye. We have an existing 4-inch outfall into the stream. Do we know where that is fed from?
I believe it's the foundation, like from the gutters of the house,
Okay,
but I'm not 100% sure.
all
I
right.
did
I
notice
could
that
see
when
it
I
there,
was
so I
there.
showed it on the plan, but I really couldn't tell.
I noticed that when I was there, and looking at it, it appeared to me it was from the gutters.
Okay, yeah.
All right, can we just make sure, or we'll put up, if we can maybe make an amendment to, as we're excavating, to make sure that that pipe is in good shape going under the leach field, so that we don't have the possibility of the leach field effluent waters leaking out into the stream.
That's
Or
an
should we-
excellent point.
Or should we perhaps just abandon that 4-inch and put a new one in that we're sure is structural?
That's an excellent point. Who's making this motion? Rich, are you making this motion?
Sure, yeah, I would make a motion that unless we can determine that the existing pipe is structurally sound to the gutters, that it be abandoned and a new one put in.
And as part of our negative determination here.
Yep, so that would be an amendment to the motion that we have in front of us.
And so, the makers and the seconders accept that amendment?
Yes.
Accept that. Yes.
Thank you so much. Roll call vote. Rich Birch,
Aye,
Katie Childs,
Aye.
Carl Luck,
Aye.
Jack Rabbit,
Aye.
Jeff Viviano,
Aye.
and I for myself. Thank you, Mary Ann and Doug.
All right, great.
Thank you.
All right, have a good night, everybody.
Thank you. That was a
All
good
right.
catch, Rich.
That
Thank
was a
you.
good catch. Let's see. The Conservation Commission will hold a public meeting on a notice of intent by James Paradise for work at 120 West Street, consisting of the construction of addition to a single-family home. It was issued DEP number 208-1209 with no comments. Again, Carl and Jack and myself and Matt were out there and looked at this on Saturday morning in the rain. And let me first of all find the plan. Share screen. Here it is. Who's here for this? Please raise your hand. Anybody here for this? Chris Anderson. Chris Anderson, I'm asking you to unmute.
Hello, can you hear me now?
I can.
All right. For the record, Chris Anderson with Hannigan Engineering, here on behalf of the applicant, Jamie Paradise, and the landowner, Derek Patno, for the construction of a building addition off an existing house. The house is number 120 West Street. We have redelineated the wetlands. This project was before the commission back in 2017 and issued a certificate of compliance in 2019. Since the certificate of compliance is now pretty much ceased the original wetland delineation, we have redelineated it and shown on the plan. It's primarily consisting of bordering vegetated wetlands. As such, there is the 30-foot and no disturb and 50-foot no builds. As part of this, it's the intent to construct a 16 by 22.5-foot building addition to the easterly side of the building. It will utilize a walkout basement to minimize grading impacts along the side of the property. This area was also previously cleared as part of the original construction. And as part of this, there won't be any additional tree clearing on the property. And essentially the erosion control line will run along the top of the slope on the backside of the building and along the entire perimeter of the tree line. as the to provide the sediment mitigation and to provide a permanent line of work to be performed on the site. A few other small changes to the site as part of this will be the expansion of an existing crushed stone apron around the building addition, as well as the relocation of the AC unit that's also on this side of the building. It is my understanding that the commission did have a site walk and question a shed. That shed was shown on the plan on the original submittal. As shown, it is located well outside the 50-foot no build zone, as is the building addition. If there's any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them.
I have one initial comment. I don't know if you can see where I have the cursor here.
Yep.
Right about there, there was, looks like about a maybe a 28 diameter inch oak that had been cut down. So your narrative that there weren't going to be any trees cut down for this is just a little off.
I apologize. It was not located during the survey. It must have been done before our survey was taking place.
Well, it looked like it was freshly cut on. So, but that's my only comment.
Okay.
Comments or questions from commissioners?
Mr. Chairman?
Carl.
Yeah, Carl, look here. Thank you for bringing up that that stump, which I thought at the site visit walk we had discussed getting it put on this plan to get it documented. The only other thing is kind of a technicality, but I'd hate to see it get propagated. The 50-foot buffer zone where it says no build zone, I believe this is the lot where we had on the original order of conditions for the house, we had extended the 30-foot no disturb zone to the 50-foot line. So I'd like to see, unless I'm wrong, I'd like to see that formalized on this line so nobody gets led astray.
Thank you, Carl. Anything else?
Nope, that was it.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions from commissioners? Any comments or questions from members of the public?
Mr. Chair,
A notice of intent. I don't know if I mentioned before that the DEP issued 208-1209 number with no comments.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
just because this was, I believe a butter filed an appeal to our decision that, which our decision was upheld. I just want to confirm that we do have confirmation of a butter notifications.
Matthew?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Thank you, Matt.
Could we hear them?
So this is a notice of intent. I guess I'm looking for Matt and Chris. Can you confirm Carl's statement about that? In reality, the 50-foot buffer zone in this particular instance is also the no disturb zone?
That is correct.
Aware.
That is correct. That was established at the for the issuance of the last order of conditions, that the 50-foot buffer zone was permanent.
And so, you know, I'm looking for a motion to approve, I guess, with the condition that the plan be altered to show that the 50-foot buffer zone in this particular case is the no disturb zone. I don't know if it's necessary to show this tree that was cut down or not. I mean, it's definitely too close to the house, you know, for it to stay there. But I'm looking for a motion and someone can decide what they want to do with that.
Mr. Chair, if you could just pose the question to the engineer
Yeah.
that he does agree and will submit a plan stating that the 50-foot buffer zone is a no disturbance line.
Chris?
That is amendable. We can update the plan to show that the 50-foot is actually the no disturb zone in this particular case. And I'll touch base with the map regarding how I can just, you know, reference the old order just to make sure that, you know, it's known that it was a carryover from the original. I just don't want it to get lost in the translation further on down the road like I just hadn't done on this project.
Okay,
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
so Rich, you're gonna make a motion here?
I'll make a motion to approve the application with the stipulation that we'll be receiving a plan demarcating the 50-foot buffer zone as a no disturbance zone.
Do we have a second?
Second,
Motion and seconded, roll call vote, Rich Birsch,
Aye.
Katie Childs,
Aye.
Carl Luck,
aye.
Jack Rabbit,
Aye.
Jeff Viviano,
Aye.
and I for myself.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll get that plan over to you.
Thank you, Chris.
Yep.
Good night. The Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on a notice of intent by Tom Wu and Scott Benjamin for work on map 137, parcel 12 at Fire Road 12 for the restoration of the buffer zone. There's no number, and as my understanding, we have no plan. And I believe there's no one here. And I believe I'm looking for a motion to continue until a date certain. Matt, you got a suggestion for a date certain?
Yeah, on this one, I'd probably go out to the second meeting in February. I'm just waiting for the drawing to come in on this. Heather just got her signature page in a couple of weeks ago, so I haven't gotten the follow-up yet on this.
So I'm looking for a motion to continue to February 17th.
So moved.
Second.
All right, roll call vote. Rich Birsch,
Aye.
Katie Childs,
Aye.
Carl Luck,
Aye.
Jack Rabbit,
Aye.
Jeff Viviano,
Aye.
and I for myself. Thank you. Matt, we have some people here that are still attending the meeting. Do you know why they're here? And so we can take up their matter. Tammy, Herbert, Mary.
No, Tammy's on for the next meeting.
Okay.
Fish was delicious.
I'm not sure what the other people are here for.
Okay, that's a fine. All right, let's stop sharing the screen. All right, violations. Take us through violations, please,
Dum,
Matt.
dum.
Matt,
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up the agenda now.
all right, thank you.
Screens keep changing. Give me one sec. Okay, there you go. All right, so we had on Leominster Road, we had an illegal dumping activity on town property that was noted. But what I'm recommending is that the commission go out and take a look at this site. Not sure exactly how you guys want to approach it, but I mean, this material is going to have to be removed.
Whereabouts on Leominster Road?
It is it's behind one of the town properties that I believe we took on tax title. This actually came up at the town meeting. I don't remember the exact address. I can send you guys a map as to where it is.
And do we have any idea who put it there?
It was an old, according to what I was told, it was an old farm dump. I know the fire department's been out there to look at it. They didn't see anything like
Oh,
flammable.
so this is not something recent. This is something more historical.
Apparently, yes.
And it's on town property.
Yes.
So what would be the normal course of action that we would follow here?
Well, the normal course is I put it on the agenda like I did now.
Yep.
I'm asking the commission to go out and take a look at it so we can formulate an approach as to how we're going to approach getting this material removed. But in order to do that, I need some commissioners to see it so that I have something to reference on with a visual. And it's something that you just can't take pictures of. You have to be there.
So why don't we put it on our site list? I believe that the next meeting will have a smaller public hearing agenda.
Yeah, I think we only got like 3 new hearings.
So, and I think we only continued 1 or 2 hearings tonight. So You know, we can put it on our site visit list for next time.
Yep.
90 Roof Street, what's going on there?
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Chairman, Mr.
Go
Chairman,
ahead.
just on that, just two questions. One is, what's the address?
Again, Carl, I don't have the address on me. As I stated previously, I will send out a further information to the commission as to exactly where it is, because I'm gonna have to point it out on the map.
All right, and it's town property, so we could go look at it independently if we wanted
Yeah,
to.
absolutely.
Okay, great.
Jack, did
Okay.
you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, isn't normally, if somebody's dumping on town property, doesn't the Department of Public Works go in and remove that material?
I have no clue to answer your question. I think we should first go take a look at it and see the
Okay.
scope of the problem before we start proposing solutions.
I mean, it's a normal routine.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be the normal routine?
Well, this is a historical dump. I think the town basically, when it took the property, as the old saying goes, inherited a pig in a poke.
Okay, yeah.
So again, I'd like the commission to take a look at it before we start banning about any further activity.
This person, Plant, has raised their hand. I want to see who they are and what I'm asking them to unmute.
That's the gentleman that brought it up at town meeting.
Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, I did bring it up at town meeting, and I called Matt 2 weeks ago, asking if any action has been done on this. And up to that point, nothing has been done. And I was really surprised by it. I also called the town manager about it, and she said that she was going to have the DPW go down and look at it as well. I also spoke to the Board of Health, and they had no knowledge of it after I had brought this up at town meeting. This is not a small dump. This is a big dump. And it does go back, probably may go back 100 years or so. Why you might be involved in this is because the dump, actually the bottom of it, is in the Catacumic Brook. Okay? The bottom of the dump is in the brook. Now the Catacumic Brook obviously runs right into our water supply in town. This is why I brought it up, and this is why I'm concerned about it.
And this is why we're starting an enforcement action.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Well, that's a good call. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right. 90 Roof Street.
Enforcement order has been sent out. The property owner,
What's the issue there?
this was the gentleman that was raking the sand back. He was supposed to file an RDA, and I haven't heard from him since. So I sent out an enforcement order giving him until, I forget the exact date. I don't have it on me, but it was beginning of February to get me the materials that I need.
What? I don't understand. What do you mean he was raking the sand back?
We brought him in. He appeared at a meeting. He had been raking the sand back. And when we spoke to him, we said, look, you were raking the sand back. That's fine. It's a permittable activity. You need to file a determination. He said he would get in contact with the office, and I hadn't heard anything since.
And
I've checked through all my emails, all my call logs, nothing.
So is he raking sand into the lake, out of the lake?
Out of the lake, out. He
Out
was
of the
raking
lake.
it out.
And we want him to, is it on a beach?
Yes,
We want him to file an RDA to rake sand out of the lake and back onto his beach that's eroded into it. Is that what you're saying?
that's what we've had everybody else do.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. I'm surprised by that. Enforcement action, Tuttle Lunenburg, we just continued that. 9 Valley Road.
9 Valley Road, I'm going out in the next couple of weeks with the water department to look at that water main. With spring coming, we're going to have to do something about it. So I'm going to have to actually help the applicant out with a notice of intent. I've just been kind of letting it set over the winter. There hasn't been any further work on the activity. The water line hasn't froze. So,
Okay, how about 788 Page Street?
now I went out and I did the site walk with the owner of the property, and the trees he actually wound up cutting were just outside of the buffer zone. What he put in the buffer zone was some of the chips from his cutting. I asked him not to do any more work like that within the buffer zone unless he files a notice of intent or a request for determination. He does have some work that he wants to do on that's the wetland side of the property regarding an existing well. He's going to have the well modified. He's going to have to put in or reestablish a pathway that went from the Page Street to his wellhead. So he's going to have to cut some saplings down and clear the path. So I'm working on a determination of applicability with him for that. Area strictly in the buffer zone. It's to a pre-existing well.
But it sounds like the enforcement order is, we can close that out.
I'd rather not close out the enforcement action until such time as he files the determination.
Okay, fine. That's it. New
Mr.
business.
Chairman, Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
Before we go off of enforcement, there are 3 items that we've discussed under enforcements before that I'd like to get an update on. One is filling of a wetland on Fire Road 16.
The enforcement order is out to Keatings. I'm waiting for a response.
Okay, great. Could we add that to the list here?
Yeah, it'll be added to the next agenda.
Great, thank you, Matt. The other one was you had given us a brief update on 48 Oak Ridge. I thought said there was an enforcement order or some letter or something sent. What? Can you remind me of
Enforcement
that?
order actually has been issued. It'll be on the next agenda.
Thank you very much. This is good.
Mr. Chairman, is that
and-
Carl, was that 48 or 22? Because we have another investigation going on 22.
22, I did a measurement on the driveway area, and it's actually out of the buffer zone.
Yeah, all of it is really?
All of it's out of the buffer zone. I went out and did a physical measurement. It's out of the buffer zone.
Good man, thank you.
Thank you, Jack, because that was my 3rd item. I'm done.
Okay. And
I could understand why you wanted it checked out, because when you first look at it, you go, oh, wow. But then when you actually, do a measurement, it's not in the buffer zone. It surprised me, but
yeah,
definitely the reaction was understandable, Jack.
Okay, that's fine. That's perfect. Hey, there was also one, Carl, we were looking at the small encampments being built along the lake there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Right where.
Right. Before we turn into Fire Road. Yeah. And was there anything, should we go grab Matt and just point him out to him? Is that what we should be doing? In the snow?
Matt, you know where we're talking about? It's the, right, if you come down Rob's Hill, looking at the lake, and Sunset goes off to the right. It's the, that first little 50-foot by nothing lot there on the left on the lake.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. We probably should go out there. I'm going to need to get a close up.
Okay.
Okay. We put that on Saturday.
It's probably not a bad idea.
I think there are 2 of them, weren't there, Carl? A couple of them?
There's 3 of those little 50-foot things there, but the only one looked like it was, but we'll leave it to Matt. If we're going to be there, if you see anything else.
Yeah, hopefully it won't be raining like heck again.
Or snowing.
Hopefully.
Yeah, don't swear, Jack.
Rain hat again.
Knock on wood. I'd rather go out in the rain than if it was snowing.
New business. A request from Carl, the Conservation Commission, investigate the ownership of 26 Sunset Lane. Carl.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate you putting this on the agenda tonight. First, I want to make sure I am in a butter of this property at 26 Sunset Lane, and I'm recusing myself from any deliberations on this subject and speaking tonight, not as a commissioner but strictly as a Lunenburg resident. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to formally request that the Lunenburg Conservation Commission add 6 Sunset Lane to the list of properties that is currently working with the BOS to establish the ownership and the transfer or the transfer of land to the Conservation Commission. I believe 26 Sunset Lane has been inaccurately identified in the assessor's database as owner unknown. It is actually by the reference deed in that database, the town property under the management and control of the Lunenburg Conservation Commission. Mr. Chairman, it would be helpful if you could pull up the assessor map that I had sent you several documents, but I think this one might be suffice so that the commissioners and whoever's with us could get a sense of where we're talking about and why I'm talking about it.
I'll see what I can do.
I thank you very much. I'm sure you'll do fine. If it's easier just to go to the assessor map, we can go there too.
1 minute. Give me a chance, Carl.
You got it. I'll take a breath and a drink.
First page is the
That's the
first page
card.
is the assessment card.
Yeah, but while you're there, if you look at the book and page, that refers to the deed that I'll be mentioning. You just zoom by the map. There it is. So this is Sunset Lane that you can see there. The yellow highlighted area is what's called now 26 Sunset Lane. The big piece of land with the 21 in the middle of it, that's Rob's Hill Conservation Area that is clearly deeded to the commission. It's about half of it's the northwest half of the Rob's Hill. There's another half for the total. But again, the yellow highlighted is the lot in question. Just full disclosure, number 17 is our residence, and we own number 19, which is why we are butters, and I'm recusing myself on discussion from this, but clearly a very interesting.
You own 17 and 19.
17 and 19, yes. So with that now picture clearly in mind, from my belief that this is already conservation land, so therefore my requests are the deed that's referenced on the property card for this property, as we just glanced through, is it as being transferred on September 29th, 1967 from Ava Carter to the town of Lunenburg for conservation purposes, to be managed and controlled by the Lunenburg Conservation Commission. That's a quote from the deed. And that is the deed that's referenced not only on, well, let me stick to the script. I believe this approximately 1 acre of land, which is now called 26 Sunset Lane, was at the time of the 1967 deed transfer actually part of the larger parcel of 67 acres with an address of 470 Burridge Street, which it abuts, and is now the northern portion of what's the Rob's Hill Conservation Area. Third, the deed which transferred the land at 470 Burridge Street to the town and the Conservation Commission, which is uncontested, is the same deed referenced for 26 Sunset Lane on its property card. On personal experience, I believe this parcel may have been created when the Sunset Lane betterment in 1993 divided several parcels, including our family lot further down the street, about a mile down the street at 392 Sunset Lane. Subsequently, the assessor's office divided these bisected lots into distinct parcels for tax purposes of taxation. This would also explain why it shares the same deed. Finally, not only do I believe having this parcel under the Lunenburg Conservation Commission was the wish of Ava Gardner, but I also feel this could be an important parcel for the Conservation Commission, as it could provide value to the use of Rob's Hill Conservation Property. And by that, I mean this parcel, the northwest entrance to Rob's Hill is right at that hairpin curve that you saw in the layout and you're probably familiar with. There's no parking there. The parking is on the street, and that hairpin curve has very poor visibility around the corner, so it's really not a safe situation for parking. This lot, although across the street, has a significant amount of very flat, fairly open land, which could be used for parking now or in the future with little, almost no work. So based on all this, as well as some additional documentation that I have and is available, I firmly believe that the parcel of 26 Sunset Lane is actually part of the Rob's Hill Conservation Property and should be under the control and management of the Lunenburg Conservation Commission. For these reasons, I request of 26 Sunset Lane to be added to the list of properties currently under investigation by the Conservation Commission and appropriate action taken. By doing this, not only will the intentions of Ava Carter be upheld, but 26 Sunset Lane will enjoy all of the rights and protection given it under state and local bylaws. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Carl. One second, I'm going to share a screen here.
So that's not all your front yard. Huh.
When I look at this, it shows a right of way down here across that goes all the way down here and all the way down to the lake.
Yes, and that's that's a right of way that was actually given by Ava on that lot. It's quite clear in the documents I have that go back to 1947. Ava also owned the lots, 3 lots that were combined to be my lot. That right of way is given specifically to the abutting residents in the deeds. And it doesn't go to the lake, it goes within 75 feet of the lake.
It shows here is going all the way to the lake.
I know it shows, but the deeds, I have 2 of the 4 deeds in the abutting properties, and the deeds, the deeded right of way only goes within 75 feet of the lake. The history is that Sunset Lane never existed. That way used to be called Flat Hill Road and was actually what was used to access the lakefront. Sunset Lane was subsequently added. So that property was contiguous with the Rob's Hill property. That when that property sold, those rights of ways were given only to the abutting residences for the sole purpose of connecting to Flat Hill Road. Now it connects to Sunset, but at that time it was Flat Hill Road.
So how does this owner access their land?
They have a right of way, the property line between that and the 1 and 21, Bob. Right at that line, there is a 14-foot right of way that crosses lot 19 that gives them access to the 16-foot. And that right of way.
And how does this property access?
They abut the 16-foot right of way. And they also have access. They also have access to the 14-foot right of way.
The 14-foot right of way is on their property. It's on this property.
It's on my property.
It's on your property.
19. It's on. So if you drew a line from that property line between 20 and 21, if you drew a line straight out, continue that lot line between those two, no, down 20 and 21, that lot line between 20 and 21.
Yeah.
Between 20 and 21, not 19.
Between 20 and 21, yeah.
That one. So draw that line straight away. That there is another additional right of way that my property provides those 2 lots to get to the 16-foot right of way. not sure the relevance of the ownership of 26 Sunset Lane, but that is the, and
Here's
that
my
right of way,
concern,
or
Carl.
that road, that way is how you would access the potential parking, or however the Conservation Commission wanted to use lot 26 Sunset Lane.
Hey, Bob, I have a question.
Go ahead, Jeff.
The boat ramp that you have on the side of your house, Carl, does that coincide with that right away?
It happens to be there, but the right of way stops 75 feet from the lake.
So has that ramp been there for many years?
Uh,
From my recollection, it was kind
there
of
was a-
access for state or for residents on the lake. It was kind of another way to access the lake.
No, that's absolutely not correct. It's never been, that entire right of way is only available to deeded properties that have access to it. And that right of way stops 75 feet away from the lake. There's never continued like that, like is shown in this assessor's map. And the deed. it's
I'm
quite
not
clear in the
comfortable
deed,
with this at
believe me.
all. Speaking for
No,
myself, I think it's highly inappropriate. You know, I'm just not comfortable with this. I don't know how the other members feel, but I'm not comfortable with the commission taking this up so long as you're a member of the commission, to be honest with you, because you're surrounded on two sides. We got a right of way that appears that the assessor thinks it goes all the way down to the lake. I can tell you in the open space committee meeting last night, Paula Bertram was looking at the same map and she was saying, oh, we should put parking on the 1.1 acres and then the people can use that boat ramp to get in and out of the lake. So,
Well, they weren't far off because you couldn't put parking on that to allow people to access conservation land. The question is nothing to do with any of those things. The question is who owns that land? It's currently identified by the assessor as owner unknown. However, the deed for that lot, according to the assessor, is the deed that Ava Gardner gave the property to town of Lunenburg under the management and control of the Conservation Commission.
so Carl, you've made your ask. I've stated how I feel about it. I'd like you to stop participating and recuse yourself. And I'd like to hear from the other members how they feel about proceeding with this request. Jeff, you have your hand up?
oh yeah, I just put it up earlier. I thought it was, years ago it was kind of access to the lake and there was a boat ramp there, which is still on Carl's property. That was my understanding from when I was a kid, but I'd have to check and do a lot of research to figure that out exactly.
And so do you think at this time that the Conservation Commission should be getting involved in this?
No, not at all.
Rich, how do you feel about this?
I did happen to look at both deeds and it does appear to be a mistaken recording, in my opinion, where they both occurred on the same day that the right of way went through. I do think it is something that at some point should be rectified. I know we have quite a few other things on our docket as far as deeds and trying to change the where in town has a custody and control of it. I do think it should be added to the end of that listing once we've gotten through everything else.
Thank you, Richard. Katie, how do you feel about it?
I don't think we should be pursuing this at this time.
Jack, how do you feel about it?
Well, I guess it's being discussed in town in terms of looking and accessing. So I think we should be aware of it. I don't necessarily agree that, while Carl has recused himself and he's made that clear, I don't think he's forfeiting his abutter rights to have some sort of a say in as an abutter. But right now, I think it's low on our list. As long as the town's not planning on doing anything, I think we keep it at the tail end of what we're going to discuss. But I don't think we should ever take anybody's abutter rights away just because they're a member of the commission. they can't vote for it, and Carl's already indicated that, but you can't remove a butter right to speak.
Thank you, Jack. I'm, as a member of the Open Space Commission, deep into evaluating a lot of properties in town that show up either as town property, owner unknown, as tax title. And I agree with Richard that we should do this at some point in the future after we have, dealt with the other properties that are in this category. Anything further on this from the commissioners that are participating in the discussion? Old business. Can we see why Brian Marchetti is still here?
Ask him.
Brian, why are you still here?
Certificate of compliance for 305 Leominster Shirley Road.
Why don't we go straight to the certificate of compliance, 305, 308,
Fantastic.
305 Leominster Shirley Road?
Yeah.
Tell us about this, Brian.
So back in December, Justin LeClaire from my office was here for the COC, and Matt Marrow hadn't had an opportunity yet to visit the site. So you guys continued it to January, and this was the first agenda we were able to get onto. So I did walk the site with Matt back in November, or actually no, I think it was Christmas Eve, even the day before Christmas or so. And we inspected the site according to the plan. I confirmed with Matt, obviously he can speak for himself. He agreed that all the work that was on the covered underneath the order back in 2014 had been completed. I did inspect the site in November with the owner, and there were items just specific to cleaning. The catch basins were full of debris and dirt. So he had the following week, which was, I believe, November 30th, he had a vacuum excavation truck on site. They did clean all the catch basins in the manhole and the pipe between them with a vacuum truck. So pretty much the whole site was, or the drainage infrastructure at least, was restored back to new. So as far as I'm concerned, everything has been addressed, and we should be able to obtain the COC for this. The owner is under a purchase and sales agreement that was extended from the end of November through December, and then after it was continued, he extended it again. So we're really hoping to be able to close this out tonight.
Matt, do you have a recommendation on the certificate of compliance?
Yeah, Bob, if you want to share the photos I took of the site under 305 Leominster Shirley Road on the cloud, that would be great.
Try and find them.
By the way, you know your email screen is being shared right now.
No, I didn't know that. Let's stop the share. All right, so let's see. So I assume this is in meeting docs for tonight?
Yep.
What am I looking for? EO pits? No.
305 Leominster Shirley?
Yep, of course. And then we have some what do you want me to show? The pictures?
Yes.
Okay. So let's try and share this screen. If I can figure out how to do that, share a screen. And so,
Okay, so that is a picture of one of the catch basins. Part of the order of conditions was for the installation of these catch basins, along with these inserts that basically function similar to a vortex separator. They're
Yep.
clean, they've been maintained, they appear to be working. You can see the top of the bank where there was a lot of detritus material that was cleaned out, which was one of the big ticket items the commission had. If you look at some of the other pictures, it will show you the building that was built. That is the side by the perennial stream. It was all full of material. That's all since been cleaned out. It looks really good. And that's the building that was built in accordance with the order. It's all on the as-built. Brian has certified the as-built. So seeing as everything looks really good, I'm recommending the issuance of the certificate of compliance.
all right. Are there any questions or comments from commissioners? I'm looking for a motion to approve, to issue the certificate of compliance.
So
So moved.
moved.
All right, roll call, Rich Birsch. Is he still with us?
I am.
Oh, you are. Look at that.
Yeah,
I
no,
didn't
I was
recognize your
just,
picture of Florida.
yes.
Rich Birsch.
Aye.
Thank you, Rich. Katie Childs,
Aye.
Carl Luck,
Aye.
Jack Rabbit,
Aye.
Jeff Viviano,
Aye.
and I for myself. Sorry you had to wait so long, Brian.
That's all right. Thank
He
you.
loves being here.
He's got
Nothing
better
else
to
to
do
do.
with his life.
All right. Well, have a good night, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Extension permit, DEP 208-1104 Hickory Hills Lake.
All right, so that was for the extension for the lake management order conditions. However, Bob, as you probably recall from the meeting we had today with Adam Costa,
Yeah,
under the governor's current order, all of the orders or conditions that were in effect as of March 10th, which this one qualifies, is stayed. So there is no expiration currently until the pandemic emergency is lifted. However, when I do get these timely requests, I will continue to list them on the agenda to have a record that a timely request was filed. And once the pandemic is issued, we can then issue the extension permits at that point.
okay, so what you're saying is they filed an application for an extension, We don't have to act on it because it really hasn't expired yet because of the emergency. But at such time as the emergency ends, then they're gonna have to all of a sudden, we're gonna have to approve them. Do I have it right?
That is correct.
Thank you. Administrator's determination, none. Forestry planning, communications. Did you put that email that I sent you earlier today, Adam, about our meeting with Adam today up in the cloud?
And you know what? I don't recall, but I'll look for it.
And if not, could you put it up right now?
Yep, give me 1 sec. Let me just
Sure.
find the correct email box. Is this the one you sent me? It looks like around 1 o'clock.
Yeah, it's up. Should be a PDF.
No, don't see the PDF.
Maybe I didn't do it. Let me see if I can find it in my stuff.
Now, the only thing I see as a PDF right now is on that 1529 Mass Ave,
Oh. Well,
which
we
I
can-
put on a file anyway.
All right.
There is a file there on the cloud that says 1529 Mass Ave.
All right. Well, let me see.
Bob, I'm looking through all my emails today. I don't see it.
That's probably because I didn't do it. Even though I thought I did.
Well, I don't know. I got to talk to IT because my email's been acting up again. I had a couple of people that I sent emails to that didn't get them. And one of my email boxes all day today, every time I tried to click on an email, I'd have to keep signing back in. So something quirky's going on.
All right, I'm going to share a screen here. Here we go. I met with Matt and I met with Adam Costa today. Matt asked some questions about Zoom. And I just wanted to share with the commission, the questions that I asked. I asked him if he'd be able to complete his legal review of the draft land use regulations more than 24 hours prior to our workshop on February 3rd, because the last 2 times I've asked him to do this, he's done it like an hour before the meeting starts. And he said he'd do it by the end of this week. I asked him if he's going to still prepare a legal opinion on our ability to ban the possession of firearms on conservation property, and if so, does he have any estimate of a completion date? And he says he's going to do that this week. Where he's going to share it with the Board of Selectmen. So that's coming. So we'll have that before our next meeting. And by the way, I was watching the Board of Selectmen meeting last night, and people both online and at the Board of Selectmen's meeting, one of the selectmen was questioning, do we have the power to change our land use regs? People they don't like what we're doing, and so they're seeing if they can stop us from doing it by saying we don't have the power to do it. I asked for an update on preparing the documents for the Registry of Deeds to formalize the special town meeting actions on those 2 parcels, and he's going to check and get back to me. And then I asked him a question about the open space thing, because we're looking at transferring parcels among different commissions, and he confirmed that town meeting action is needed to do that. And then there was this parcel in the middle of Cowdrey. Let's show you that. Let's see. Somewhere here. Oh, I thought I had a map. I don't have a map. But at any rate, there's a parcel right in the middle of the Cowdrey lot that's surrounded by the Cowdrey lot on 3 sides. And it was taken by the town for taxes back in, what's the date of this thing? 1955. And they then decided that the tax taking was was defective. And so then in a town meeting, they took and they voted in town meeting in 1965 to take and go out and purchase the parcel either for $75 or take it by eminent domain, but they didn't do anything about that either. And it currently shows up in the assessor's database as formerly owned by William Gov. And so I want to ask the assessor to try to retake this parcel. The last time the town's really done anything about it was back, they took it in 55 for back taxes. They decided that was defective. Then in 1965, it went to town meeting. And I asked Adam today in the meeting, what's the best way for the Conservation Commission to obtain this parcel? And he said, ask the tax collector to take it by tax title. And so I plan to do that. I don't think I need a vote of the commission to ask the tax collector to do that. And then the last question I asked is, can the board or commission pass rules that a member cannot seek legal advice without advance permission or notification from the relevant board or commission? And he said, yes, he can. you can, because I got that's the legal advice I got from today, and that's our communication. Anything else?
Rules that I meant.
Is there any public comment from the commission? Is there any public comment from the public? Whoever Mary P is. I guess I'm.
Bob, were you gonna send out a copy of your questions and answers?
I'd be happy to do that.
If you wouldn't mind, I'd
will
appreciate it.
I'll send it right now to everybody. Okay. I thought I had done this earlier today, and it was going to be on the cloud, and obviously that didn't happen. But I will do that right now as soon as we get off the air here, Rich. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, where you now have publicized it, it is a public document. So.
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Well, but I like to, when I go to see town council, I like to share with the membership, and Carl has asked, that I try to get, the responses in writing.
So, agree. No, I'm not questioning that. Just to have a copy of it was all.
And
I do approve wholeheartedly of your direction that you're going at getting the information from the town council.
Okay. Thank you so much, Rich. I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chair, there's a Tammy Hebert that has her hand up.
She does. Oh, I didn't see that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to ask her to unmute. Go ahead, Tammy.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I know that you guys are going to be talking about land use at the next meeting, but I do have a time sensitive subject that I'd like to address and see if it's something that can just potentially be addressed this evening, because it is affecting my small business.
Go ahead.
So I have been conducting goat hikes in the Laurel Bank Conservation Area, and I got permission in 2019 to do this. And, there is a fee that is associated with the goat hikes in this particular area that we're hiking in. And we got this letter stating that we cannot continue these hikes till we get permission. And, it's been a little bit tricky because we have some hikes that are already set up, and I don't know how to move forward with my small business with it.
Tammy?
Yeah.
Who did you get permission from in 2019?
I went to the actual office of the Conservation Commission, and I got permission through Matt.
Matt?
No.
I'm sorry. Yeah, through Matt.
Go ahead, Matt.
I remember discussing it, and I remember her asking about goat hikes. I don't remember about anything about a fee.
Because if you're taking a look at our present land use regs, Tammy, they say if you're going to do something on our land where you're going to make money, you need to come to the commission and ask permission and get approval. And I apologize if there's been a miscommunication, but you don't have approval now from the commission, according to our present land use regs.
Well, I mean, she's here. Should we take it up now?
Not on the agenda.
Public, yeah.
Will it be visited on the next agenda?
We could put it on the next agenda.
Okay, that will work for me too, also.
Okay, that would be February 3rd.
Yeah, if you recall, we were going to put it on the February 3rd agenda because it was a light agenda.
Okay, I just, it has been kind of affecting my small business, but I will go ahead and hold off any future hikes till I get the approval, and hopefully things can get revisited on the February 3rd agenda.
Okay. I apologize for this, Tammy, but you are gonna have to take and hold off on hikes and goat hikes until you come before the commission.
All right, well, thank you very much. And I'm not sure if you remember back in 2016, we had our goats over at your property.
I will never forget. I will never forget. They had their goats here. We put them down in an area that was adjacent to the lake that was full of poison ivy and oriental bittersweet, and they did a marvelous job
Ate it all.
of eating all of these invasive plants. But they would periodically get out, and my wife and I would have to chase them around and pick them up and try and put them back inside the fence, and it was great fun. So,
Yeah,
They used to do
business-
that in Leominster at the landfill. They used to have goats stay there all during the growing season.
Yep.
At the old Leominster landfill on Mechanic Street, and they would eat up all the grass, and then somebody actually decided to shoot one of them with a BB gun, kind of wrecked the whole thing. Yeah, people were loving it, and somebody had to spoil it.
Those were actually sheep, by the way.
yeah,
Oh,
those
yeah,
are
okay.
sheep, and I want to get back to my motion to adjourn. Thank you, Tammy.
All right, thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Anything else before we have a motion to adjourn? Going once, going twice. A motion to adjourn. Jeff.
So moved.
All right.
No question.
We have a second.
Second.
All right. Roll call vote. Rich Birch,
Aye.
Katie Childs,
Aye.
Carl Luck,
Aye.
Jack Rabbit,
Aye.
Jeff Viviano,
Aye.
and an aye for myself. And Mike LaRouche, do you approve of our adjournment?
I certainly do.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sticking
Thank
with
you,
us.
Mike.
All right.
All right, good night.
Super.
See you next
Good
time.
Good night.
We have the Mike seal of approval.
Here we go.
All right.